All right. Anshu Singhal joins us, Managing Director with MGL. And let's take the point forward, an ET Now exclusive, that CNG excise duty on CNG prices could be reduced. And if that is reduced, could this lead to uptick in margin? Anshu, good morning. Thank you for joining us. So we here at ET Now, it's something an exclusive story. My colleague Prakash yesterday broke that there is a serious thinking by the government that excise duty on CNG could come down. If that happens, what happens to demand? How will that change life for MGL?
The excise duty cut will be a welcome step for the industry because currently it is 14.5%, 14% in CNG. And if it comes down, the benefit will be passed on to the customer. Around 7-8 rupees benefit will be there in case excise comes down. Other prospect is that in case gas comes under GST, then also excise will be submerged in the taxation system. And then whatever is the differential benefit will be passed on to the consumer.
So, Ashu, to understand the benefit for MGL, one is that the excise duty would be a pass-through, but that would lead to an uptick in volume. So, how much to your mind is the sensitivity of the consumer for, let's say, consumption of CNG or consumption of gas? Because ultimately I will be consuming gas irrespective of what the price is. It is not that gas has gone cheaper, I will start consuming more gas.
Yeah, that is right. It depends on the segment. Like if we talk about domestic pipe natural gas, it is priced inelastic. I mean, if the gas is there in the house, it has to be consumed and it will be consumed in the similar manner. The quantity will also not vary much. But when we talk about CNG, it is slightly flexible. If the prices are low, already we are selling in Mumbai, the prices after taking mileage advantage, the CNG is being used at 50% cost of petrol, the running cost of on a CNG vehicle and a petrol vehicle, and around 20% cheaper than the diesel. So in that respect, if prices further goes down, then the advantage for a consumer to choose CNG vehicle, new CNG vehicle, will be much more beneficial for them. And therefore, the decision making can swing in the way of CNG.
Ashu, assuming that, this reduction in excise duty comes, do you think the government might still consider getting gas under the GST ambit?
Yes, very much, because GST will have a broader perspective and implications than the excise cut. Excise is mainly on CNG, whereas GST is applicable to all the consumers like industrial and commercial, then PNG and CNG, all the segments. Plus, there are other segments where the overall impact will be there of gas included under GST. So the input tax credit to the industries will be passed on to them, and therefore their raw material as of now is not under GST and their product is under GST. So those industries will get benefited, but it will be a mix of implication depending on what are the VAT rates going on in each state and what are the consumption pattern or the consumption level. I mean, in what area the gas is being consumed, because let us say in PNG, the VAT is 3%. So it depends on at what rate of GST gas will be brought in. The impact will be either slight increase of prices or slight decrease in prices.
Right. But tell me, Ashu, you recently undertook a price hike, right? Was it to pass on the rise in gas cost?
Absolutely, because there are two things attached to it. One is that the APM gas allocation, that is the administrative price mechanism, which is the cheapest gas available in the country, that has come down substantially from, say, 82% a year back to it has come down to around 68-70%. So in that respect, we have to mix in more costlier gas, HPHT or LNG, into our kitty. And both the things, one, that the LNG prices have slightly increased and the APM gas cuts have come. So therefore, we have to we were constrained to pass on some of the price hike to the customers.
All right. Wanted to also understand that, what exactly post the price hike we could see when it comes to your overall margin picture. Will it be above the guidance of 11 per SCM?
No, it is a very dynamic situation. As of now, we expect 10 to 12 rupees is the guidance for the margins. And the price hike happens because of input tax, what is the alternate fuel cost, what are our volume growth expectations, and so on and so forth. So there are several reasons on which we decide when to raise the price and to what extent.
But in general, do you expect CNG demand to remain robust given that right now car sales are strong? Right now, gas as a gas distribution is increasing. The consumption of energy is also shifting to cleaner fuels now. Do you expect that the double-digit demand will stay here for next 2-3 years?
Double-digit demand was not the case, at least for Mahanagar Gas. We have last year clocked 5.5% year-on-year growth. This year, we expect it will be around more than 7%. And yes, industrial and commercial segments saw a growth of around 12% last year. So the whole thing, as you rightly mentioned, is, I mean, it is all set for the industry to grow in terms of the priorities given by the government to make this sector grow, the environmental impact of cleaner fuel, as well as both industry should grow CNG vehicle consumption. The infrastructure is growing more and more. Original equipment manufacturers are bringing new models. Like recently, Bajaj has launched two-wheeler on CNG. So all these things augur well for the industry because a lot of infrastructure is getting created, not only by MGL, but other companies are also creating, which gives more stability in availability of CNG.
Touchpoints MGL currently has, when I say touchpoints, fuel outlets, vendors, how many you propose to have by end of 25 and 26?
Currently, we have around 400 outlets, and this year we are expecting to increase around 85-90 more outlets in both MGL and Unison, which is our 100% subsidiary. So maybe around 480 or 470 outlets will be there by end of this financial year. That's what our plan is, and it is very aggressive because earlier we were adding around 30-40 stations. This year we plan to add another 70-80 stations.
Right, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining in and giving us a sense as to what the implications of this news could mean. That's the management of MGL talking about how prices could fall by 7 to 8 rupees a kg, and that is going to be passed on. And EBITDA margins will be in the range of 10 to 12 rupees per SCM.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.